everybody, it's Grandma Roseanne, and I have a little explaining to do. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background before you start watching the actual video. It is January 6th, and I am now putting out a video that presents Christmas wreaths, Christmas door hangs, Christmas centerpieces, and you might think, why in the world would you do that? Well, we had a little bit of life step in, which really complicated everything for us for the month of December. If you've been watching my videos, you know that my husband has been very, very ill. He has stage 4 cancer, and through the month of December, he was hospitalized, very, very serious hospitalization 2 times. So that really obviously threw everything off. He's my cameraman, you guys. He's my cameraman. He's my man, but he's my cameraman, and he's a good cameraman. So when he was home in between those 2 hospital stays, he obviously couldn't do any video recording for me. He was not well enough. I need a little bit of diversion, so I tried doing it by myself. Oh, what a mess it was. But it turned out, the product turned out beautiful. So I wanted you to be able to see it. Now, as I'm showing it to you now, what I would like you to do is mentally pull out any red, gold, Christmas, get that out. And what you can put in is anything you want for your kitchen or a centerpiece, and use the same magnolia leaf concept. Use the same construction concept, but pull out the Christmas, because this really isn't a Christmas wreath. It's a wreath that we created for a special holiday. That holiday can be Valentine's Day. It can be Groundhog Day. It can be someone's birthday. It can be whatever you want, but you can actually create one of these for any room in your home. So now that I have the cameraman back, and he's able to videotape this, and you will see what it looks like when it is not hanging on my doorknob. There. That's basically what we're looking at. Now, what you have the ability to do is make one of these for yourself. Obviously, get rid of your Christmas, get rid of your ribbons that are Christmas. You can put in anything for fall, for autumn, for a beautiful winter scene. You can do that in here as well. If you want to make one of these for your kitchen, I made one just very recently, but I gave it to her before I filmed it, so I forgot to film it for you. But what I did is I dried the oranges, which I'll tell you how to do as you progress into the video. I dried the oranges, and then I just continued to overlap and overlap and overlap and overlap, and it turned out beautiful. So if you want to do something like that, do the same thing. You can put in some cinnamon sticks. You can do put in some nutmeg. You know, the whole nut. There's so many cool things you could do with it. But the construction of this, I don't know if I went into it. It is just cardboard from one of my Amazon boxes. Thank you, Amazon. And then I just cut a hole out for the center of it. And for the centerpiece, all I did was just get more cardboard. So it's very, very, very simple, very easy to do, very, very cost effective. And what a beautiful gift it is to give someone. It's a gorgeous gift. And if you do your oranges correctly, it'll last forever. It really will, months and months and months and months. So with that being said, I hope that all of you are going to have a fabulous 2021. Our focus right now is good health for you, good health for my husband, just good health for everyone, that we go into the new year really, really strong, and everyone has a prosperous year. That would be so wonderful. So with that being said, I will let you continue on with the video, and oh my gosh, thank you for your patience, and thank you for the prayers and all the beautiful words that you guys sent to us through this last Christmas season. So thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye. Well, I think that when you're going to start a project, well, at least for me, it's better for me if I have everything organized and I've got everything that I think I'm going to use out and displayed so that I can have a good view of it. So I'm going to make a dried orange wreath for you. And what I have done here is I have taken oranges, I sliced them relatively thin. You guys, this is a little hard doing it by myself. And they were probably about a quarter of an inch, maybe a little bit less, and then just dried them in an oven, 200 degrees. And what I did is I set the oven at 200 degrees, and I set my timer for 3 hours. And then I checked them, and then I started watching every hour and then every half hour. Because when you're taking a look at the difference in sizes of these oranges, they're going to dry at a different pace. Now, again, if you have a dehydrator, that's great. I just don't have one, so I use my oven. Now, you want to be careful about things like this. Now, this little puppy, he just was in there too long, so I won't be able to use him. But I wanted to show you what happens. So you do want to keep track of them. Now, in this wreath, what I think I'm going to need or possibly use, I have these pods, and they're magnolia pods. I have magnolia leaves that were sprayed. I have some eucalyptus. I have the greens from the magnolia. I don't know if I'm going to use the white and the red and these leaves here. I just have a variety. And then I have a really, really pretty Christmas ribbon here, and it's a wired ribbon. So I love the wired ribbons because you can make them just do things. You can make them, like, I can't do it with one hand. I will show you. I'll show you. But you can kink them and do things with them. Now, the base of this, you can use anything, but what I did is I just took a piece of cardboard right here, and I took a plate, and I just made a 12-inch, where is it here? I just made a 12-inch round, and then I cut a center out of it. Very super simple. Now, you can go get a base if you want to, but why? I just don't know why you would need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this pretty ribbon, and I'm going to find my center, and I'm going to do that. So let me get that done, and I will be right back and show it to you. All right, so what I have done is I found where I want the center to be, and I need that for my focal point because everything is going to come around and come to that center. What I did is I just used a glue gun. And I don't know if you're aware of this because I wasn't until very recently, but they have cordless glue guns, you guys. Oh my gosh. And on Amazon, I think it was only like, I don't know, $17 or something like that. But not to have to mess around with a cord is absolutely wonderful. So I have my center, and now I'm going to start showing you as I start moving through and putting the all of these different elements and getting them into this wreath. So what I am doing here, and I'm about halfway through, is I am just overlapping these very large magnolia leaves. Now I am cutting them down in this, right in here. What I will do is I will cut about, let me turn this around. You guys are patient to still be here with me. Oh my God, this is hard. Okay, I will probably cut off this much of this leaf because I want the depth, I want the width of this, and I want the length of it, but I can't have that much length because I don't want my arrangement to come 2 feet out. So I will cut it, and then I will continue to underlap all the way up to my starting point. So I'll come back and show you in just a second what it looks like. But I always start with the largest element. Well, I have completed all of the underlapping, and I think they look beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. If I can hold this up. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you guys are still here with me. Holding it up on my mixer. Oh dear Lord, this is primitive. What about holding it up on a doorknob? Now, you guys have to give me a break here. Cameraman, my husband, is back in the hospital, and this is the best I can do. So just forget the doorknob and just really take a look at the movement of the leaves. It gives it a lot of movement, and find the ones that are kind of curled up like this because they give you another dimension, or the ones that roll under any kind of leaf you're doing. You just don't want it to look flat. So now I'm going to start on the next element. Now, what I want you to notice in this segment now are the extra leaves that I put in here. And I put them in so that it would give another dimension and another level of movement towards this wreath, which I believe it did. And I can put this up and show you back on my amazing doorknob. But can you see now with the other leaves intermingled in there? And they're just the eucalyptus leaves that I put in, but it's starting to show some fullness and some interest. And that's what you want. You don't want your wreath just to be round and flat. You want your wreath to have movement, to have a feeling of being alive, and that's what this wreath is doing. I will also caution you, as you are creating this, be sure to hold it up, shake it a little bit, and make sure that you have glued each leaf in correctly, and that it's not going to fall apart and leave a gaping hole for you. Now I have added the leaves that were sprayed gold, and I think that they really are starting to just make this a more interesting wreath. I believe that you do need to incorporate color in there, and this is the start of it. So I am now starting to add a few more elements to this. What I will suggest to you, and what I do very frequently, is I will place the item in there without gluing it. So if you will take a look at this, it's not glued in. I can move it around, arrange it, stick it wherever I feel it should be. But the main thing is, I am not going to be having to destroy leaves because I glued something in the wrong place. So you might want to think about doing this, and when you put the element in there, if it feels good, go ahead and glue it. If not, pull it out. You may not even like that element in there at all, or you might want it in a different place, but this is the time for you to make that decision. Now I have started to bring in some color. I'm bringing in the red berries because I want to start picking up the color that's in the ribbon. So I have that beautiful little white snowball. I've got the red berries, and it's starting to just come together and look so pretty. Remember, 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 pick it up and shake it in case you didn't glue something in. Now I'm starting the placement of the oranges. That is really the showstopper here. And I haven't glued anything in because, once again, I want to make sure that an orange isn't going to absolutely cover up another element, like this area right here. I made sure that the orange slices did not cover that gold magnolia. So everything should have its position and its place, and you should like the way it feels. And when it feels right to you, you pick up the glue gun. And this feels right to me right now, so let me glue in. Now the oranges have all been glued in, and I'm really happy with the overall look. I think it is beautiful. I think it is festive, and now it's just time for me to do the ribbon. And that is what we will hang it with. So in regard to the ribbon, what I have done is I have created a very, very, very long strip here of ribbon, and this is what we're going to hang it with. Now, what I did at the top is I just folded the ribbon over. It's going to be hard for you to see. Just know that it's, hold on a second, my heaven's sakes, this is really hard to do by myself, but nonetheless, I folded it over so it's got a double thickness there. I glued it, but I want to make sure that it's going to hold, so I stapled it. Can you see those staples right there? I stapled it on both sides, so now I know that that ribbon is very, very secure. It's going to hold flat. And then I did a couple of tails on it. So let me get back to take a look at the tails, and you can literally do whatever you like on them. You can have tails or not on it. You can weave them in through if you care to. There's a lot of creativity that can come from those tails. When I actually put this up, I will go in and crimp these so that they are standing away from the arrangement and looking very full. So I will be doing that. And then I will come back in a minute and show you actually the construction of it and where it all came from. So thank you. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you're going to go out and make one for yourself. All right, for our next project, I cut an oval and I spray painted it green. And you might think, oh my gosh, Roseanne, that's a terrible spray job. All I want to do is get a little bit of the color of the cardboard off of it because you're not going to see it at all. I'm just concerned about the center of it. And then, as in the other videos, or the beginning of this video, I'm using basically the same elements, but I want you to see what you can do with these elements when you just get a little bit creative. So let's get started. First thing I did, you see the little dots around there? That's going to be where my candle is going to sit. So I want to be able that I don't cover that center area. So I just went in and made some dots around there, and that's where the candle's going to sit. So I have a good gauge of the diameter of the circle that I cannot go into. Well, all right, we have got the magnolia leaves all in order, and you might be asking, why would you use that? And I used it intentionally, simply because I like things to look real. And if you look up into these leaves up here, there's some gray, some browning on them, and I just think that adds authenticity. So now I'm going to start adding the elements. And this whole thing right here took about 4 minutes. Well, here we are still with our magnolia leaves, the green ones and the ones that are sprayed gold, but I took a different avenue here. I brought those white poinsettias in. I brought a little bit of the crystals and the pine cones, and I just love the look of it. Sometimes it can be very, very simple, and it has its own elegance and beauty. And now, when we put the candle in, I think it's absolutely beautiful. That's going to sit on an end table at my house, and I think it'll be very, very pretty when it's lit, and it has just a beautiful glow to it, and the crystals are going to reflect that light as well. Now, what I want to offer you is really pay attention at the end of the year. And what you'll want to do is look when all of these white poinsettias and these pine cones and crystals are 80 and 90% discounted. Buy them. Just buy them. Put them in a box, and next year when you open up that box, you will have things that look like this. I have got treasures and treasures and treasures and treasures here that I can go in and pull from and then create things that are absolutely beautiful and have cost nearly nothing. So I want you to just have some forward thought in this and know that you can do these arrangements so quickly, so sweetly, so nicely, and such a beautiful gift that this is going to give. I'm going to make another one, and it's going to go to one of my neighbors, and she's a sweet lady who has been just very, very forthcoming in sharing all of her magnolia leaves. So this is going to be going to her. All right, now on to our next project. I'm going to be doing a centerpiece for my table. And so I've got 3 candles that I will be using. So I've positioned the candles already. The last piece that I did just a moment ago, I went and dropped off at my neighbor's, gave it to her, and harvested, so many more gorgeous leaves. Look at these, will you look at them? Are they fantastic or what? I just adore them. So anyway, she's so precious. Her tree is like about 20 feet tall, so she doesn't miss a few here and there. So let me get started, and I'm just going to put the base down, which is just going to be underlapping all of the magnolia leaves. Now, if you don't have an area that you live in that can grow magnolias, you can order them from a florist, but I'll tell you guys, they're pretty darn expensive. Or you can get dried ones, or not dried, but you can get artificial ones that are far more reasonable than preserved. So if you can't do that and you want to just switch it out and use some evergreens or whatever you have in your area, just do that. But I love going around and picking what I can from my neighborhood. I've gotten to meet some really nice neighbors doing that too. And I do take back, when I made my door wreath, if you happen to look at that one, I took a plate of Christmas cookies back to them for them sharing some of their greens with me. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get the layer down, and then I will be back. Well, I have the base done, and if I can get back here a little bit, you might be able to see it a little bit better. Notice what I did is I went from the center to the right and from the center to the left. And I did that because I liked that flow of it going both directions with the center of it being rounded. Now, on the wreaths that I did, they all went in one direction. And you can do that if you care to. I just personally like the look of this. What I did is I incorporated a lot of the dried magnolias that I had picked up off the ground. Now, I do have and started to use a gold one here, right there. And I didn't like the look of it, so I'm taking that out. I had already glued it in, and I had a few of them glued in, and I decided that's not what I wanted this arrangement to look like. So I'm cutting the rest of that out. Now I'm going to start adding some of the other elements. So I'll give you a video on it as soon as I have a few of them plugged in. Now the next element that I am really liking the look are these frosted leaves right here. And I just clipped them off of a very long garland that I had and I have used for years. It was garland that went down my stairway at Christmas, and another time it went through a Christmas tree, and I've used it for so many things. Now what I'm doing is just separating it out and using it for pieces here and there throughout other arrangements. I always let the arrangement talk to me. I might think that I know what I want it to do, but then it seems to take on a life of its own. And I found if I just let that flow continue, it creates something really beautiful. So I found these picks, and I found them at Hobby Lobby. And if you watch the video on my front door wreath, they're on there because I like the jiggling of them. And when I stuck them into the arrangement, I really liked what it said. I liked the expression of Christmas and just beauty. So those are going to go in, and then I will continue on with some other elements. I have decided I do love the red ribbon. So I want to have it appear that it is running through the entire arrangement, even though it will not be, because I want it to flow a certain way. So I started here with the tail, glued it down here, wrapped it around. I'm bringing it underneath. Where's my hand here? I'm bringing it underneath this leaf and gluing it to that leaf, and then I will start another section from here up, maybe coming this way. It's too hard, I find at least, it's too hard to get one very long piece of ribbon to work in exactly the way you want it to do. So what I do is just cut it in sections and work with it that way. That might help you as well. Well, here we are. Well, here we are, our finished product. And I think it turned out really, really pretty. I love the 3 candles. I love just all the elements that went into it, and the design work I think is good. Take note of the ribbon. I could not have done that with one continuous flow, but it is working really well. No, honey, I'm recording. Okay, it's working really well here. Experiment, play, have fun, enjoy, relax when you do it. Put on some beautiful music, or if you're as lucky as I am, I had a grandchild here today. Maverick, run around to the table over there and go around the corner so you can say hi to the people.
Hi.
You have to go around. And this is my beautiful grandbaby Maverick. So he helped me today in creating this arrangement. He went with me and picked magnolias, and he cleaned up all the mess after it was done. So thank you, Maverick. Okay. So anyway, you guys, just go ahead and play. You can't go wrong on Christmas stuff, okay? You can't go wrong on Christmas stuff. So have a good time with it. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will be doing more videos on a daily basis. Bye.